Hello and welcome to another video. In this one I'll be showing and talking about how I transitioned from the 2.6 gallon Pico Reef to a proper 20 gallon Nano Reef. I went over the design, setup, and the equipment of the new tank in the prior video, so please check that out if you are interested in any of that. I will link it below. I received a box full of Marco rock from a friend and spent an evening putting together a small aquascape. I think it came out great. It's got channels, a cave or two, and a nice platform on top for SPS corals to sit on. The overall height is about halfway up the tank, so that should give the corals on top plenty of room to grow upwards. So once I was happy with the scape, I chiseled out the bottom to make it as flat and stable as possible, and then placed the rock on the bare glass. Now it's time for the sand. This was my first time using live sand. I've always used the dry stuff in previous setups, but live sand came highly recommended, so I decided to try it out. On the flip side, rinsing out sand is always something I hated doing, so the fact that I didn't have to do it here was a huge plus. The sand I chose was the Carib Sea Special Grade Araga Live. With a grain size ranging from 1 to 2 millimeters, it should resist being blown around by the Nero 3s while still being fine enough for the animals to enjoy. So I got it as flat and even as I could, guided it around the rockwork. Next is the water. I forgot to take footage of me filling it up, so here it is immediately after the fill up. Even though on paper it's a 20 gallon tank, the real water volume here is about 14.5 gallons. That number matters a lot for dosing, so don't skip it. I let the water sit and circulate for a few hours and heat up to temperature. Then I put ammonia chloride solution from Dr. Tim's in it to bring ammonia up to around 3 ppm. Next I needed to seed the tank with life, and what better donor than my stunning 2.6 gallon reef. I've been carefully curating a diverse microbiome in here for the past 4 years, so it was a no-brainer. If you recall, about 7 months ago I put some rubble rock in the backside of this aquarium. This was the perfect vessel that I needed to seed the new tank. I mean, look at how seasoned it all is. So I pretty much dumped the entire contents of that media basket straight into the 20 gallon, detritus and all. The more the merrier, the dirtier the better. After running for a few days with the lights off, I turned them on and it looked stunning. Not only did the tank clear up incredibly well, the ammonia reached 0 ppm and life began blossoming. In an act of impatience on my part, I decided to test it out with the live coral frag. What better candidate than the stunning green star polyp that's been taken over the back wall of the Pico aquarium. I carefully cut out a piece of the edge that's been growing on the side, and I introduced it straight up. No acclimation, as the salinity and the temperature of both aquariums have been matched. The following day, the coral did open its polyps, and in the days after that, it opened wider and wider. So the Canary test succeeded. The tank was going to remain empty for a few weeks. However, I wanted the microfauna to continue establishing itself in the interim, so I started adding a few drops of live Fido to fuel them. A tune-up was the next stage, so my friend and I spent some time programming the Kessel controller, setting the right height, intensity, and color for the lights. We took some PAR readings as well, here they are. Overall pretty similar to the 2.6 gallon. The top of the rock doesn't quite get as intense, we just could not get it to break 300. But even then it's still more than enough for SPS corals. This front of the glass is very intense. I figure it's a reflection, but that should be a great place for clams. pumps got their program as well. I settled on the random setting between 10 and 40% intensity. They do a great job of moving water, but not blowing sand around, and even facing corals directly, I think they'll be fine. These have a very wide, gentle flow pattern, so nothing is being straight up blasted like a jet. So, pretty happy with these pumps so far. A couple of weeks went by and the tank continued to find its footing. The fauna population exploded pretty dramatically, likely due to the phytofeast and the lack of any predators. They are covering the glass and the back wall day and night. I even saw some baby bristleworms showing up at night. Algae started making an appearance. Little bits of hair algae began showing up on the new rockscape and the sand bed. The GSP on the wall also started growing a bit, actually moving up toward the light. It was at this point I felt certain that the tank was ready. At last it was time to say goodbye to the furnace. I took one last look at the little Pico aquarium that could. All the failures, all the successes, and everything that it taught me along the way. What began as a casual experiment slowly became the most successful aquarium I've kept by far. I never imagined I'd be able to grow and sustain animals this delicate, let alone in a tank small enough to pick up and carry. But it did exactly that, day after day, for nearly 4 years. Now that its purpose is complete, it's time to take everything that it built and give it more room to breathe. Prior to transferring, I checked with multiple instruments to make sure salinity and temperature of both tanks were as close to each other as possible, since there wasn't going to be any acclimation. I don't recommend doing it this way, however in my case, floating a whole rock in a bag just wasn't an option. As usual, I had to break something while moving the rock. In this case it was the bird's nest. Don't worry, it's fine. I was moving quickly to transplant the rock and got it nice and snug into its new home. The difference between a mature rockscape and a brand new one is immediately apparent. It might take months, maybe a year or more for the new one to catch up. Following the rock were the corals that weren't anchored down to it, then the snails and crabs, and of course the star of the show, the fire shrimp. Oh, I also haphazardly reattached the bird's nest to its original spot. It might not be there for too long, however. That aggressive pavona is getting pretty close to it. For now, nothing looked happy, but that's to be expected. The following day, things began opening up. I had the lights at 50% so they could get a feel for the new chemistry and the flow patterns before I turn it up to the levels that they are used to. Overall, things still don't look like their old selves, but they didn't get worse, and that's all I needed to see. The fire shrimp had landed on the left side of the tank upon transfer and perched himself on the new rockscape, but overnight he found his old nook and went right back. About 3 days later, everything was looking much better. I saw the polyp extension that I am used to coming back, especially on the SPS corals. That poor bird's nest took a beating, but it doesn't seem to mind. They all seem to have adjusted to the new flow pattern pretty well. The shrimp adjusted pretty well also. I dropped a few of the pellets that he really likes and he went after them just like always. So it was nearly time to begin wrapping up the lights, but first, this algae has to be taken care of. And for that I hired a few professionals. First I got 3 Trochus snails. I prefer these guys to the Astrias for their ability to self-right. They seem to think they're at a disco. The turbo snail's in here as well somewhere. He can't keep up with this algae though. He eats and kind of just crashes out. He's an old guy. I got a couple of nacerious snails as well. They're not algae grazers, but they will stir the sand bed and keep things clean. It was also time to start dosing calcium and alkalinity. Since the tank is so new, it was not consuming them equally just yet. I am still mainlining all for Reef, but with a little bit of B-ionic to supplement alkalinity as well. Things kept trending up over the next week, so it was time to take the next step. After years of being alone, the fire shrimp was about to have some company. I went by the store and picked up one more Trochus snail and two beautiful little Ocellaris clowns. These two are tiny, captive-bred juveniles, which is exactly what I was looking for. I'm hoping to see them grow and mature in here while establishing their territory. We're having a bit of an ugly phase here, but that's to be expected with fresh rock and sand surfaces. Patches have already gone missing thanks to the snails, and hopefully soon it'll be as clean as ever. Now that there are proper swimmers in here, protecting them is a priority. Enter the lid. I ordered this one from Reef. It was a bit on the expensive side and took a month to arrive, but the quality is outstanding. This lid is a perfect fit over the Nuvo 20 and comes with a wonderful quality of life feature, this cup. It allows me to feed very easily without having to remove it each time. As I mentioned earlier, it is a bit on the expensive side, but if you can afford it, I highly recommend it. And this is where I will leave things off for now. It's been a very nerve-wracking but exciting and successful transition. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to follow along and see where this journey takes us.